monster! Woo! Now that's a bump! Woo! Holy moly! Wow!
Well, that was something. Got pretty excited there. Another video for you guys. Hope you enjoy. Here's some drone footage. Allison drone the second half of this one. Amazing footage as usual. What did I have? 1070, 20 knots to 25 knots with the guys. Very successful run. Fun to try out the smaller foil. Always a bit of mystery trying a smaller foil. Here we are getting a slight battering by the shore break. And a bit of a debrief. Definitely worth finding somewhere that doesn't have shore break, guys. Alright, here we go.
Alright, heading out at the north side. Slides down my foil again. I did this one the other day. Get on with it. 1070 front foil, 45 rear, 70 fuse, 76 mast. 120 litre frank board, just got trying the 110 out. We've got good 25 knot onshore conditions. We don't get this very often, so we've got some big rolling ground swell. Not quite ground swell, I guess it's like 6 to 8, maybe 8-second period, if we're lucky. And I'm thinking I could easily go and chip in on the inside and catch something up that I'm familiar with and take it to the bigger bumps. But I'm actually pedaling out to the bigger bumps in the hopes of, well, not simulating, but just going out and actually trying something different. And my thinking is that maybe the 120 litre board will give me more paddle up strength than the 110. So higher literage, a bit longer, a bit bigger, starting a bit higher above the water. Because I don't find paddling up the 170, the 1070 very easy. I find it a very soft foil underfoot. And the other day I used the 1070 with the 40 skinny, and I felt very soft and very difficult to get going. So I sized up the rear foil to actually create some lift and a bit more of a platform, even though I'm going to lower the top end range in some of the mid-range glide. But who cares? I just want to make it easy for paddling up. Out with Matt's on the 1250 Fireball, Scott's on his 860R code, 120 rear medium fuse, 75 mast, Dave's on the 110 crank. First time, yeah. I tried it the other day, this is the first time on a run. But what a run! Alright guys, I'll see you on the pedal up. Matt's first attempt. Scott's off in the distance.
Here we are watching Matt.
Chunk to the water.
I'm always trying to film him so that he can see his own beta. Always find I have a question when I come out downwinding. There's always something to discover. It's never straightforward.
Matt fumbled that one, but he got on foil. So think should be pretty stoked with that. Now it's my turn. So fun having these onshore conditions, guys.
And here we are about to embark on a paddle up for a downwinder. Even with all my experience, I don't know how many runs I've done now, 300 to 500 runs, who knows.
Already catching waves?
I could get up in 5 paddles, I could get up in 50 paddles. It's still difficult.
Needs to be light on the foil.
I shouldn't be disingenuous. It's definitely more difficult with a newer, smaller foil. If it's a foil I have wired, it's not too bad for me now.
Woo! Okay, that was easy. Yeah, baby.
That did seem...
Oh, that rear foil
It did seem awfully easy. Working my way out. I do remember that takeoff and the lift I got from that rear foil. There is some sacrifices to be had having a liftier rear foil. I'll lose a touch of top end, and I might lose a touch of glide. But lift is the people's attribute. I think all riders appreciate lift in the system. And
build some forward speed, side bump.
Yes, it costs some efficiency, but there is plenty of upside, inverted commas, whatever they are, to having some lift in your system.
Now that's a bump.
The beautiful Pounamu coloured waters of New Zealand. New Zealand?
I'm on foil, I'm going to be moving pretty quick. These bumps are huge, biggest I've been in. Okay, see you one.
That was Alison calling me in regards to the droning. I said there that these are the biggest bumps I've been in, so that's pretty interesting.
Woo! Come on, baby!
I'm definitely feeling something.
Speed up. Don't let that speed drop. Once you're in a good spot. I'm bombing some of these, baby. Another one. Fade off. Keep speed high on the fade. Turn on the high point. Re-establish. Pump down it. Get that speed higher. Woo!
I don't know if there is a way to ride efficiently in these conditions. I'm definitely pumping for speed to join some of these bigger sections, and I'm doing it just for the pure joy of it, but it might also be strategic. I think you'll see later in the drone there's a few fades that I do where I just pump off the back like this and just pump down the line until I find a good section. But it's great, like looking down something like this, you're just looking downhill so far.
Oh, it's a good bump.
And then just adding your own energy, just trying to max out everything. Maybe not the best for turns, these bigger conditions. I haven't quite figured that one out yet.
Decisive decisions.
It's quite interesting that a lot of faster foils are also more turny. So you're sizing down your foil, but you're also gaining more turn. But I'm not sure it's needed. So that's an interesting thought process of, if you want a faster foil, do you actually need it to be more turny? Let me know what you think. That one really interests me.
You can build it back up. You got to tie into these bumps. Oh yeah, baby. Maintain speed.
These are pretty excellent conditions. And the beauty of downwinding is you can kind of have world-class conditions anywhere.
Holy moly! Wow!
I just held on to that one.
I thought I was reaching there for sure. Tried to stick it and I stuck it. Woo! Oh yeah. I like this big round. Feels correct. Straight down the line. Straight down the pipe.
So I just said,
Still way to go.
just mentioned that I like that bigger stabilizer.
Right for now.
I've tried the smaller ones too, with the system.
What a run, guys. Already, all time.
And they are good, but every step down in skinny size, you do seem to lose lift. To the point where it becomes quite neutralized. We're leaning in on that one. The lift can become quite neutralized, and then you can actually just kind of remove all lift, and you have a very efficient system. Some people like that. It just means it's a bit more point and shoot. So each to their own, and I mix it up. I like it both ways. So this is the 45 skinny with the 1070. If I step down to the 40 skinny, I would still have some pressure, but the system would be far more slick, and I'll be able to bomb a bit more thoughtlessly. And I've used the 35, and it's starting to get a bit wishy-washy for me at that point. The faster you go and the more time you spend on it, it does start feeling normal, but it takes an adaptation process, and it might. I'm not sure what the future holds for those sizes for me. Maybe you get used to them and you hold on to that feeling for session to session, but otherwise it's quite difficult trying to regain that trust with your system every time you go out. Whereas this 45 is just a nice standard feeling foil system. Good lift, good speed, good turn. I'm sure Dylan will have something to say about that. Write it in the comments, mate. So this is a north side run. I probably should have put the map at the beginning, but there is a map at the end. This is a bit of a turning point here. So we're coming up to Tyndall's Reef. The land mass scoops in, and now we've got a big bay. And the water seems to relax a bit, slow up, and steepen. Everybody who does these runs loves this section from Tyndall's, at least until the Shakespeare point, and then you start getting a little bit of a confused water system again. Refraction, bounce, currents, all the bits. Just picking paths. Good momentum. Holding the momentum. Thugging my way there through a little bad spot. Maybe it was avoidable, not sure. I forgot we've got the drone footage coming up too. Cool. Good space between the peaks and troughs here. Plenty of space to navigate. It does mean that if you get into a bad position, sometimes it can take a bit of work to get out of it. If this was a bay run and sort of offshore winds, the bumps will be more stacked and closer together, and you can't really make a mistake. I guess you can. You could go through lots of uphills in a row. But if you kind of know what you're doing, but you make a mistake, the right path is just to turn away. Here, if you make a bad turn, you might have a bit of digging to do to get out of it. A bit of thuggery there. Gotten used to going forward and fast, and I'm not willing to turn off, it looked like at that point. I was just hunting something in front. Energy to burn. But here we go. We've got the drone footage here, so we get another aspect to view. Very lucky in New Zealand. An amazing country. Good sized swell under me there. Let's just try to observe what's happening. On a nice peak there, outrun it a bit, but there's a low point in front. I've switched it to down the line riding. Nice trough, just racing away from me in front of me. A low point, keeping pace with me. That's just a low point that you can never hit, but you're trying to race into. That is perfect. Alison mentioned with the filming of this one that she was a bit surprised by some of the speeds that were happening. Pumping over a small ridge, trough in front. It's a nice path to follow. Follow the trough and face down the line. If you can keep a trough in front of you, you've always got somewhere to go. Turning away from it so I don't run into it, but keeping that there as a resource. It's a beautiful sight as a rider, having a nice trough in front. Working again there to overrun that bump. It's hard to say if that's bad form or not. If I turned away, you've got to fight the wind. That one was probably 50-50. Not too much energy used, and I was likely to use energy either way if I turned off. Big swell coming up to me there. I'm right on the front end of it. You can see it off to the right of me. Something like that is going to move quite quick, and it's going to move under the water, and you can't really tap those ones for too long. But that is the beauty of downwinding. It is an ever-changing environment, and it is a reasonably high-speed problem-solving puzzle. That's what makes it fun. Nice wide bump there, nothing too steep. The occasional steep section of trough. I'm likely targeting swell in front of me there. My eye will be on that peak in front, knowing that it's drawing the water behind it, and I am on that water that is behind it. A lot of pumping. This is the one that I mentioned earlier. I've pumped off down the line, reconnected to a swell, maybe watch that again, I don't know. But that's kind of standard procedure. That's instead of chasing forward, you turn across the wind, and then you connect to something that's coming from behind. That is quite a sizable swell, that one. It's going to have some push behind it. I can see it in my speeds too. That thing is shifting me. This is fun, just surging from left to right. Straight down the line there, 30 kilometers an hour. Cut across. It looked like there was going to be a nice big section in front there, but it actually faded somewhat. So that big bump there has passed under me, and it's left me on the plateau above it. But that's okay, because there'll be micro sort of changes in water environment that I can utilize. So you just tap into whatever's available. Sometimes it's a small bump or a small trough, small face. Ride it, use it to build your speed and mast height. And then once you've got speed and mast height, you should know how much you've got in the tank at that point. So if you're going sort of like a nice moderate speed, you're not low on the mast, you know that you've got like a good 5 seconds up your sleeve. And that 5 seconds will take you maybe 10, 20 meters. So then you can just start judging your environment. Look at that bowl in front of me there. That's good energy. That feels like a football field when you're out there. And again, it's like a mountain environment. Like snowboarding into the big valleys. So yeah, if you can utilize the environment to build your speed back up and your mast height back up, you should have that pretty wired, knowing what that leaves you to access and how far you can get. And then within that expanse of time or distance, you can try and find something to repower you. Or at least something that's not going to stifle your speeds. So avoiding uphills. Mainly avoiding uphills. And here we are at the end. Cooper's Beach. It's Travis on the boat ramp there. Not applauding, but that's okay. Pumping across the Scott. Scott had just tried the 110. He borrowed my 110 litre. He was absolutely stoked.
Woo! What a run! What a run! What a forward!
Anyway, I will let this one just play out. Enjoy. Hope you enjoyed that one. Got many more to come. Got a few new videos in the pipeline. Try and use some of this new technology I've got access to. I hope you're out there sending it. Let me know how you're going. What's happening out there? I haven't been following the foiling world. What new foils are there? Are there some new brands? Are people building stuff for us downwinders? Like, let me know what you have your eye on. What's exciting? What's coming next? Are we ever going to see this board from Mr. Bennett's? What is it? Not flight board. What's it called? Is that ever coming? I'm curious about that thing. Anyway, be good. Look after yourselves. Hydrate. Do your stretches. Do your stretches before and after your sessions. Go for some longevity. And enjoy, guys.
Fuck it, mate. I reckon I'm a